One. Hey everybody, welcome to the Combo Wombo podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Mr. Gimpy, and as always with me, the man to my left, Chipped Monk. What's up, bro?
What's happening, dude? It seems like you're gonna give me like a nomenclature, like a little coin of phrase, dude. Like you're gonna be like,
I could
Chip with the dip, with the
Chip
rip,
with the dip. I like it. I like
exposing
it.
Mark Echo getting it up.
I did yours multiple
your 90s
times, and
graffiti's artists.
I never gave myself a little judge. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it was
dude.
my turn. It was my turn today. It was my turn.
You put yourself on the spot, dude.
Nah, we're good. We good.
Yeah, dude. You need the Bruce Buffer cue cards, dude, to read from.
Nah.
We're the same two people every week,
every
bro.
time.
And we haven't changed, dude.
Changes every week, brother. Changes every week.
Change it up. Keep it fresh. Keep the people guessing. Keep them coming back to the trough. Keep them thirsty.
I got some good updates, brother.
Oh, yeah? You got some updates you want to go through?
Yeah, man. So let me jump in first. I got a lot to ask you about, and I know you got a lot to say, but let me go first before I forget.
All right.
So, we've been the pod has been a little VR centric the last couple of weeks, with you getting it, Professor, battling me on the Beat Saber scores.
You've been still going back and forth.
Going back and forth like red and meth, dude. It's
right.
great. It's been fun, man. It's been really fun. But since I've been in VR more than normal, I play VR a lot, but now that I have friends who are actively in it, I'm like, man, I'm on this headset all the goddamn time. So I got some upgrades.
Oh, no.
As I've said before, I got the my VR headset is the Vive Cosmos Elite, which people have shit on that headset before for different reasons. People don't like the Vive wands, and people don't like the flip because they're saying you can't get the headset close enough to your face to get it to stay on. I don't have that problem for one. I think you
have the proto face, dude. The perfect face.
I might.
It's designed for VR.
So here's the positives of this headset. People say the Valve Index is probably the best bang for your buck headset you can get with everything else, and I'll agree with that. But the Valve Index has one fatal flaw: there is no wireless option. And if you want to do PC VR without wires, you can get the Oculus Quest, or you can do a Vive headset, right? So I chose the Vive. I chose the Cosmos because it had at the time
violence.
At the time, the Vive Pro 2 wasn't out, and the Vive Pro was the lesser model, so I got the Cosmos. Not knowing about the hate, right? So there's been one issue with the Cosmos that I've been dealing with, and I actually got used to. The focal point was very like the sweet spot, so you can see everything and not blurry, was very tiny. It was in the center of it. They used what's called Fresnel lenses, so they're kind of blurry on the outset, but they work for 99% of people, right? Where they can see the sweet spot. I've been in VR long enough where I am the 1%. I am the elite in this point, right?
All right, you got the perfect sweet spot on it.
Yeah,
the proto face coming in with the perfect sweet spot, dude.
Exactly.
All right.
So then
I have to put mine up a little high.
Okay.
For my Oculus, even with the new lenses, because I got the
you got the
the whatever prescription ones, that click on with the metal. I have to just a little bit, like a half inch, so like this just rides weird, but so you're the 1%er.
Yeah.
I feel like most people are gonna have to adjust
my head.
up, down, left or right or some shit, like like they have like the little whatever it's called, the pip movers.
Yep. IPD.
That move the IPDs.
Yes, sir. So
well.
I thought so. I'm gonna get the Valve Knuckles, right? Because people are telling me that it's good. It's been sold out forever. I don't want to buy it from a third party. I want to buy it directly from Valve. So I'm gonna get the Knuckles. So it looks cool, and actually having finger movement with it seems great in VR games. So that's my purchase after this.
Any update on the deck, dude? You're talking about getting things direct from Steam?
Yeah. I'll go into that in a sec. Gabe
Newell was out there giving them away, right?
Who? Okay. Gabe? Oh yeah, that's. I mean,
like he probably gave
him out. Bill Gates was like the OG Xbox. Bill Gates like sold the first copy and then was like, shit. Sold.
I don't know if I should tell you this, if it's gonna like get you heated or not. So there's like a YouTube video of him like giving out like orders to people like in this area, whatever the San Francisco Bay Area.
I thought it was
Seattle or wherever the hell he is.
Sure.
Some tech startup. So he's out there like handing them out to people who would order them. But then he would just give them away to other people who happened to be there. So I'm thinking he gave away your fucking Steam Deck to people, dude. This is billionaire. He gives zero F's about consequences, dude.
He's like, guess what? Works. That's not how big production works. I like the heatedness, but that's not how it works. I'm a big boy, dude. I know how production lines work. It's all good.
Him giving away an extra 100 didn't like push 100 people back to like Q4. You don't think that? Not at all. You don't think like people who were like, oh, you're a Q1, and if you gave away a couple extra 100, like it didn't push those into Q3 and 4.
Bro, I'm still Q3. I'm still Q3. Yeah, that's what it is. It's all good. I have.
Did you start as Q1?
No. I started as Q2.
Maybe that's the professor. Q3. Oh, you started as Q2. Now you tossed your shit out paperboy style, and now you're Q3, bro.
That's all right. That's
all I'm saying, dude.
My list said it used to say like July to September. Now it just says July. So
okay, yeah, that's good.
It updated. So there's a month at least. We'll see what happens when it gets there. I'll definitely update the pod. But so there's the most popular mod for the Vive headsets has been the GEARVR lens swap. I was a little afraid to do it just because, you have to like pry your old lenses out because these aren't made to like, plug and play. It was a pretty easy process. It took me 5 minutes, if that. I bought some lenses, popped them in, put that headset on, man. It's like when you go from standard definition to HD definition, it was that much of a difference. It was absolutely incredible. So
just increase your field of view. What does this do?
The field of view is about the same. The
like 102 or whatever it is.
The sweet spot though is the entire fucking lens.
Oh shit!
Like I can move.
No man should have that much power, bro.
Yeah, dude, it's like how like. Even on the Oculus, if you move just your eyes, sometimes we get like blurries or whatever.
Yep.
Just because the
God rays.
Yeah. There are 0 God rays. The sweet spot is the entire fucking lens. I haven't played enough games in it yet to see if there's any. I'm assuming there will be some blurriness at some point, but from where I was before, which was like a pinhole, to now, which is basically my entire fucking pupil. It's a whole new fucking world, dude. So
does it increase your Beat Saber game at all?
I didn't even play Beat Saber with it yet. No. I played Contractors. I've been playing that because I 3D printed that gun stock, so I've been playing that and a little Onward. It's been doing good, dude. So I've gotten.
Is it holding up?
It is holding up. Let me.
You just got it right there. You're gonna pull out the old gun stock.
So I redesigned it since the one I printed initially was like this, and it was actually I read up on the 3D print that the guy did, and he was a lefty, so I'm a right-handed guy, so it didn't really work for me. So what I did was I flipped this bad boy upside down, and people who are listening are like, "What the fuck's he talking about?" I made a 3D gun stock, So I flipped it upside down, and
the VR controllers,
and I printed 2 of these cups to put them on, so I hold it, like that. So like an actual rifle or whatever.
Yeah.
It works out great. So muscle memory let me realize how to reload and slot that back in. So it's been going really well. It works super well for Onward. Onward's like basically Rainbow Six VR. It's a little more slow paced and realistic. For Contractors, really muscle memory has to be there because that game's like almost a Twitch shooter in VR. It's more like Call of Duty, so people are like raising it real high. So that's been a little bit. So right now I'm actually upgrading. This will be done. Actually, I need to buy some more filament, so I printed some parts for it. I'm doing the magnet gun stock that I was scared of before. So that one will be. You're
conquering all your fears, dude. You're putting in new lenses. You're throwing magnets around, dude.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of like
playing with magic.
I'm gonna get. I'm thinking about getting a PVC pipe to increase the sturdiness too. But it'll be like this, and the controllers literally just magnets, so I can reload like really easily and stuff. So I think that'll be super fun and
game changer.
Yeah, exactly. So that's been fun, man, and it's been working. So I played a little bit of that last night, actually bringing when I noticed the Fresnel lenses had the most issue, even though I was in like the 1% of the sweet spot. So when I looked through a sight on a gun in these FPS games in VR, you look through the actual games like Holographic Sight or the Iron Sights, right? When I tilted my head, the headset can slide a little bit. And it slid a little bit, so my pupil wasn't directly in the center, so it would be blurry. and then I go back up and kind of adjust it, and it was fine. So that was like the big thing. It never had this issue with like Half-Life Alyx or anything else. I don't know why. Maybe it's how that game's designed. Who knows? But I was like, oh, and then I played that, and I'm like fucking just capping people left and right, dude. It was fantastic. So that mod completely worth it. Highly recommended to everyone. My buddy Sir Trike, actually, he's the one who first got into VR. He was like kind of my inspiration to get into it. Knowing when I got it, I had at least one person to play with. He has the OG Vive. He was the one who originally told me about the Gear VR mod, but he also understandably was scared to do it because you're prying old lenses out. I'm visiting Alaska in July. And I figure if he wants to, I'll just bring some lenses up and do it for him. So it's that much.
Don't do it, dude. He has to learn to fly on his own, dude. You can't just be out there holding his hand.
I mean, if you know one thing about me, man, I'll help whoever. Man. When you're my friend, it's one of those things where I'll it doesn't matter if I saw you yesterday or 10 years ago. I'm there, man. Like it's all good. I may complain. Don't get me wrong. I may complain.
You complain the whole time,
dude. But I'll be there.
That's the cost, dude. I'm going to help you out for free, but the cost is I'm going to complain the whole time doing it, dude.
or if I have something like a professor with his digging or whatever, I was like, yeah, I'm playing Shovel Knight, bro.
Yeah, can't
I'm
help
already using the shovel, bro.
Virtual shoveling, dude. Can't help.
But yeah. So the Gear VR mod, fantastic. Highly recommended for anyone with a Vive. And I'll say, like, people are shitting on the Vive as they're like, oh, get the Index. Here's the thing. You got premium PC VR. I have full wireless, and you can use the knuckles. So I truly believe like the Vive Pro 2. Like right now, the wireless thing is like the old one, so your resolution isn't going to use the entire Vive Pro 2 resolution. So unless they come out with a separate one, that's what you're stuck with. But honestly, if you can get the Vive Pro 2 on sale and you're okay with like swapping to the knuckles and doing the lens swap, I don't know if the Pro 2 has it, but fucking phenomenal, dude. I am 100% pleased with this. And people are like,
the combo Wombo takes no responsibility for anything you do to your devices. If you're breaking, they'll blame us, dude. If you mess it up, consult a professional or whatever. I don't know.
Man. So here's the thing. I think that we talk about
cover all bases
on a gaming podcast, right? But one of the things that we've all done and that we've talked about before is modification of your hardware as well, right?
Yeah.
Like back in the early aughts, I would mod Xboxes, right? We talked about modding a PS2. Have you ever like soldered a mod chip on? Right? Like that's altering hardware. Dude. Yeah, same.
Bro, I don't even know what the statute of limitations are on this shit, dude.
Mod chips are not illegal. Mod chips are not illegal, dude. You can put a mod chip on anything. But then soft modding was available.
As I'm thinking through the story, I'm like editing out parts of it in my head. So like, all right,
I'm editing this one.
If let's say I'm writing a fictional story about a couple of kids, teenagers back in the 90s or whatever. Let's say one of them got into modding cards for satellite TV to get all the channels.
Sure.
And at some point they're like, hey man, what about if I learn how to mod chips? So they ordered like a chip programmer from overseas and then just started like programming chips and selling them.
Yep.
And that was, maybe this friend knew a friend who that was the guy. So he would help him mod Xboxes, in his attic.
PlayStation 1s. I remember I was, I want to say 9 or 10, maybe 12. A buddy of mine had a mod chip on his PS1 and just a bunch of burned CDs, right?
Yeah.
Games. So piracy is 100% illegal, but playing backups or imports is not. So,
What about like Thrill Kill, like games that never really came out?
Yeah, or games that never released. Yeah, that's exactly how I played Thrill Kill, dude, because this kid had it. And I was like, what the fuck? So it opened up a whole new world for me, dude. And, back then, emulation wasn't as solid as it is now. So that was it, man. So
that was it. You had to have a modded. Yeah. I remember getting a little bit deper into it with the Sega Dreamcast because like you could just run burn CDs on there.
It was cracked so quick.
Yeah. And like I'd play like the old NES games and SNES games on there that I had. And I was like, this is amazing. But I had the deep library of Dreamcast. Like that's the one thing I'm nostalgic for really. Cause like I bought that and I had like almost every game that was out for it.
Yep.
like legit. I don't know. I think I've told this story before on here. Where like this is back when the day when you had like movie rental places, and the guy who ran the movie rental place was like selling the building. It was towards the end of that era. This is the end of the movie rental place, and he's like, "Hey kid, you want to buy this Sega Dreamcast and all the games?" I'm like, "Yeah, what do you think?" And he's like, "I don't know, like $300." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." So then, you hooked me up because I'd rented forever, and he was selling the place, and so I had everything. It was amazing. It was what you would want. It was like a childhood dream, dude. Eventually, I lost all those games for people taking them or whatever. Life happens. I'm salty about it still, but whatever. That's a story for another time.
So yeah, man. Like what was I saying? Yeah, like
modding chips.
So going back to my initial point.
Dreamcast was great for it, dude.
So Chip fucking with me and telling me to set up my 3D printer, and I've been 3D printing stuff like a madman. I did we're missing a valve stem cap on one of our tires, so I 3D printed one and popped that on. It's awesome. So there's functional shit. There's other shit. So that's opened my eyes to hardware modification again, and so it is what it is. So
do you feel like a pirate, dude? Like printing your own shit? Does it feel like it should be illegal?
No, not until you mention it just now. Like it's too useful, dude. It's too useful, and the cost to get into it is like nothing. Like it's too cheap.
It's not like it was early on.
Yeah,
you can get like a really good 3D print for like $200-$300 now. Like you can get like a resin printer for like $300 or $400 now. Like
they're just on sale for $180 a Mars 3 on Amazon. The resin printer, $180.
Especially in these trying times, dude. When you don't know when things are gonna shut down, bro. You could be making your own shit, dude. Like you could 3D print a gun stock on there, dude.
if you
for your Oculus Rift.
My wife laughs because I sanded down all of the model prints I did yesterday and put primer on it yesterday. I'm painting that Spartan today, and she was laughing. She's like, this is just like your new hobby that you're super into? I was like, I guess it is. Like 3D printing's fun. It's really fun, man.
Like she doesn't see the novelty of like having a spool of plastic and like turning that into objects, and then
she does. She just does.
Like if you just start like looking around at things in your house, you'd be like, you know what? I could just make all this shit. Like there's nothing like holding me back anymore. Like I could 3D print a chair, a shelf, anything.
Like all of my kids' toys or whatever. Like there was one that's broken. I'm like, I can design something and print that, fix that toy. So
I'll never know.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with me, man. I think just
have you looked into like LiDAR scanning, like on like I think iPhone and like the newer Androids, where like you can like rotate around an object and like get a 3D model of it, and like you can
I already
3D
did that for myself, buddy. I'm ready to go.
You already copied yourself.
Day two of 3D printer. I looked this
3D
up.
print yourself.
I'm like, I want me.
You need a digital copy of yourself in the uploaded into the Matrix, dude.
Yep. So I'll work on that at some point. But yeah, I've always wanted like a model of me. So
now you have it, dude.
Yep.
Man. Speaking of 3D modeling and modding stuff, I got an exercise bike, like a recumbent bike, and I just threw it in my living room. It was a nice one. It's nothing crazy. It's like a simple $200 bike. But with that, I got like a cadence sensor. And like I was telling the professor about, he's like, "Give me one of those too. I'm gonna make a game for VR for biking." And I was like, "Okay." So I said to him a cadence sensor. I was trying to figure out how to get the access to like the SDK on the back end. And like, looks like you have to sign up for their forms and register, and they do it all by hand, so it takes a little bit of time.
So
I started doing that, and then the professor was like, "I'm just going to go through Bluetooth because it's a Bluetooth."
So native Bluetooth delay.
But I guess the benefit from like Ant Plus to Bluetooth is Bluetooth you can only read like one device, whereas Ant Plus you can read multiple devices on multiple pieces of software at the same time.
Yes,
which is I don't know. But then I was reading.
Sounds like it uses an older form of Bluetooth, because Bluetooth you can do multiple now. But
yeah, dude. I was reading up on the forums and shit. And like somebody was like, "Hey, man, nobody's updated like the backend to Ant Plus in like 8 years, and like none of it's commented." Like I was like, "Damn." But I don't know. The professor got up and running. I made some video game design docs on Google Docs because he was like, "I'm gonna make some games." I was like, "I got video game ideas." My one buddy was like, "You should make Paperboy. And I was like, shit, why didn't I think of that? There's like the low hanging fruit of like a VR Paperboy while you're on a bike, dude. Like of course.
Use the fucking controller just to talk.
Yeah, obvious. It's so obvious. I'm like, damn, dude.
Look at your buddy, go patent pending, you get nothing.
I was going to steal your ideas, dude. Yeah. So I came up with like a few other game ideas that, because there's a lot of different pieces of virtual trainers out there. There's like Swift. There's a couple other ones. Strava. There's the the big one that everyone loves right now, the Peloton. That's what I'm thinking of. Where the kid died on their treadmill, but what can you do, man? Like those things are dangerous. Like any piece of exercise equipment is inherently dangerous, dude. It's a
lot of moving
big
parts.
Piece, a lot of heavy parts. Like watch your damn kids. Put up your exercise. That's what what I like about this exercise bike is it folds up. I can put it away. But I think it's just gonna be a staple of the living room. But yeah, there's a lot of virtual things. I didn't see a lot for just straight up PC. Like there's not like a lot of standalone PC clients. And I don't know, me personally, like I don't really need to gamify anything. I found like this guy on YouTube who just has like, here's a 20-minute workout, do it with me. And he's, on his bike. And I like this guy because he's like just like a villain, dude. Like it's crazy, dude. Like, most exercise things are like, all right, let's walk through. This is like, you want to hit target heart rate. This guy's like, on the right side of the screen, I'm going to have a timer. On the left side of the screen, I'm going to put every reason why you got to be doing this. He's like, you sick of people calling you a fat piece of shit. He's like, your kids and wife don't love you. You fucking, people are making fun of you. Nobody's going to touch your dick. Like, it's just crazy. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like he's just going through like just wild shit. He's like, you're sick of that guy from 5th grade who like, hit a Tootsie Roll in your Tootsie Rolls, dude. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
this dude has some issues, brother.
He has so many issues and he's just trying to bicycle through them, dude. And I'm there for it, dude. I'm there for that story. So yeah, I'm looking up like those type of workouts. I was looking at like the feasibility of making like a VR game with this stuff. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, I sweat a lot, dude. Like, especially when I'm hitting like the target heart rate. And that's why I got like the heart rate monitor. But I don't really need it because I know like as soon as I start sweating, I'm at I know when I'm sweating, I'm at about like 132 heart rate, which is high, but it's like where you're in your high intensity. So I just naturally like I will like clockwork just start sweating when I hit my target heart rate. I'm a big sweating dude. Like I get deep into that.
Are you worried about that with the VR headset? Like how much you're sweating?
Oh, dude, it'll get disgusting.
So you can make one of these yourselves, or just go to a store and buy like one of the. There's like a beauty mask that does this, like but you can get a VR face cover, so the sweat will get caught with that, and then you just wash that. Buy a couple of those bad boys.
I know they have like rubber plates or whatever too.
Yeah. If you want to go that route, I found like the VR like I just used like a it's like a sleep mask kind of thing, but it's
I think I've seen those. I looked into it.
It's like cooling, so I like if I'm in VR for a long time and it's summer and it's hot as fuck in here, I'll put that on with it and it's fine. Yeah. So there's options. That's good, dude. You had before I get into what I wanted to talk about today, let's quick hit your story because you had a story that you said you're gonna share.
What? Because I've been working out because of the sweat issues. I was like, man, I need to just get a haircut. I'm gonna shave up, but like all the hair places around me are closed, and there's one across the street that I am pretty sure is just a drug front. Like this thing has never been open. I went in there once and the guy was like, you need an appointment. And I was like, I just need a quick buzz, dude. And he was like, can't do it, bro. And I'm like, you have clippers right there, man. Do you mind if I just like say, he's like, nah. And I was like, bro, it'll literally take you like 2 minutes. I got like $40 on me. He's like, can't do it. I was like 60. He's like, nah. I was like, all right. I was like, this is like, you have to have zero like, training or whatever. And it's 5-10 minutes tops. So I'm like, just straight up shave me up. He was like, can't do it. I'm pretty sure this is a drug front, bro. It's like, I've never seen nobody in there, not any other clients. It's right across the street from where I live. I'm like, I've looked in there multiple times. It's always empty. Nobody's in there. And the one time there was a guy in there, he would not help me out at all. And this
How do you make an appointment?
You have to call a number, dude. I don't know. Maybe I should
call a random number. It's like, it's like fucking 1950. What the hell?
Yeah, you can't do it online. Like they have no website, dude. Like it's just a number. I don't even think the number's listed online. Like you just have to like call the number that's on the front of the building, dude. Like this is
trash.
Yeah, dude. This guy's like clearly this is a money laundering front, dude. Or he's like some sort of trustee playboy millionaire who'd like has a hobby of cutting hair, dude. Like that's his fetish, dude.
It's a fucking vampire front, dude. You know, all the vampire movies, there's like the familiar or whatever. That's what that dude is, man.
That's more in a simulation, dude. Yeah, this just proves we're in a simulation, dude, where it's just like a random storefront where nothing ever happens in it.
Yep, for sure, dude. For sure. Oh man. So today's episode, man, I want to get into. So just last night I watched the Uncharted movie. Right.
Okay.
With Tom Holland, Marky Mark, and people are like, reviewers shit on it, of course, because they shit on every video game movie.
They shit on everything lately. I feel like everything's went to the extremes for like clickbait. They're like, this is the worst movie you ever made.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Here's the thing. Uncharted the game is basically Indiana Jones, right? Or male Lara Croft, a lot of people say. I said more action-heavy elements than puzzle. I absolutely enjoy the Uncharted series. It's one of my favorite series of all time.
It's like National Treasure.
Yeah, exactly. I love heist movies as well, right? Like, especially when they're over the top and it's just double cross after double cross after double cross, where it's a fucking like comedy of errors.
What did you think of that one with the Rock that just came out with the? You know what I'm talking about? It was like
Red? I think it was called Red or something like Red Notice, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
It was exactly what I expected. You know, like if people would go, hey, was it a good movie? Would you recommend it? I'd say no. Did I have fun with it? Hell yeah.
I would say it was
fine.
I would recommend it for younger people who maybe haven't seen like a lot of like the classic heist movies, because it just relies on a lot of tropes and stuff that
it definitely
like everything you see coming from like a mile away, like if you've seen a lot of movies. But like if you're a younger person, like you'll be shocked, you'll be hooked in, you'll be like, what's going on? You'll be like, all right.
yeah. Like, I mean, you know, Wonder Woman, Rock, and Ryan Reynolds, you know, all being in a movie, like they're all charming enough. Where
I like how you just gave it like Wonder Woman, dude.
Gal Gadot,
Gal Gadot. yeah. I don't know. Like you did say The Rock though too. Like I feel like they all just play like Deadpool, The Rock, and Wonder Woman.
Here's the thing. If I said Dwayne Johnson, no one's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. Let's be honest.
I think everyone would, dude. The modern day, I think
modern day, probably. Yeah, he's probably more
the zeitgeist, dude.
Yeah, it might be my.
I was just watching a thing about somebody calling out his like meals because like he did an interview where he's like, how many calories do you do? He's like 3,000 to 6,000. This guy was like, no, he doesn't. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, dude, I watched Uncharted, and then I watched the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
The show or the movie?
The new movie.
Okay.
And I will say,
you've been consuming a lot of video game, TV, movie content lately, dude.
I have.
Did you keep up with the Halo
TV series? Well, I'll talk about that when the series.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I have
issues. You want to go
deep-seated issues? That's gonna be a full episode.
Oh damn! Sure. All right,
it's gonna be a full pod. But yeah, I've been keeping up on that. So, I will say with both movies, Uncharted was definitely the better movie than Resident Evil. Uncharted was the better adaptation than Resident Evil. But Resident Evil, even being the worst movie, was a solid game adaptation. Like a lot of stuff from the games were like transplanted into the movie, like almost 1-to-1. And while it can come across as cheesy, being a Resident Evil fan, it was exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, you want like that, like a B horror film, and that's like what the original game was going for, with like the FMV intro and stuff, where it's like, is this cheesy horror? Like we want you to lull you into a false sense of security, and then have a bunch of like fun jump scares, and you know, you're always running out of ammo, so you always have like a sense of dread of like something bad's gonna happen, so you keep your head on a swivel with the tank controls, dude.
Exactly. The big thing with Uncharted versus Resident Evil, I had issues with the Resident Evil casting. No one looked like their game counterpart. Really?
Whoa! You didn't have a problem with like Marky Mark fucking playing the old
Sully? Yeah. Well, that was an origin story.
He's supposed to be like 60 years old or something.
No,
he's like looking.
Well, Marky Mark's like fucking 50 something.
I know, dude, but you know he's on that extra chemistry, bro. He's looking young and
as the movie went on, it was closer. So, but with
you had no issue with that, man. Just the casting of Resident Evil. All right.
Not at all. So
you didn't have a problem with the Spider-Man.
I'll get to it. No,
all right.
So with Resident Evil, it just wasn't quite right with the casting choice. I'm okay. I don't expect like grade A acting or anything else, right? I had fun with it. Leon Kennedy, Chris Redfield, Claire Redfield. Claire was good in the movie. I enjoyed Claire. Her personality wasn't clear from the games, which how close it was kind of skewing to the games. I was hoping that'd be more like it. And then same with Leon. He was a little more whiny than I would care, but I'm still used to Leon from Resident Evil 4 versus 2. So I think that might be why. But I think they played it up too much. And I thought everyone in that movie was too skinny, compared to like their game counterparts. That was like really it. But the big thing, we had zombies eating people. We had the classic, turn look in the mansion. They split they kind of split Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 1 in like the same movie. So I thought it was a little hodgepodge, but overall, I enjoyed it, and I'm hoping for a sequel. Uncharted.
Hold up, real quick. I got to interject here.
Yeah.
As you're talking about that thing about like people being like too skinny and like just a bit of like suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I'm on my little bicycle on my TV. I'm like, all right, let me try this out. So I put on TNT because I'm gonna watch, AEW Rampage or whatever. Fucking Gemini Man was on before Rampage. Will Smith playing against Will Smith.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it says about me, but at a certain point, like a third Will Smith shows up, and he's like the ultimate apex killer, where he's like flying around. It's basically becomes like a Wu Chan movie, where everyone's flying around on fucking high wires. And like in my head, because they're like shooting this guy with like the future armor, and he has like a motorcycle helmet on, bullets are bouncing off of him. In my head, he's still gonna be fucked up. Like there's no way you can take like a bullet like off ricocheting off, like your head's going to twist at such a force that you're going to be concussed, even if like it shocks off of you, man. Like
you couldn't suspend the disbelief.
No, I couldn't, dude. They set this dude on fire like 5 times, like a movie horror villain to try and kill him, dude. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I don't know. To me, that took me out of the movie. Everything else I was like in for, dude. I was like, all right, how's this guy tracking? Why doesn't he just kill? Every movie's just over if like the bad guy just shoots the good guy in the head, right? When he has him. And I'm like, there's like several parts in that movie where I'm like, just shoot him. Why aren't you shooting him? It's weird. It was weird. The whole movie was weird.
I can suspend my disbelief for a lot of movies. It's just when there's a video game adaptation and I've played the game to death, I'm a little more critical. Uncharted was just a better put together movie in general. Some of the story beats, they just kind of glossed over where the game, like with Nate's brother, Sam, you play through as young Nate with Sam doing a mission and stuff, or doing a heist, and you really got to know Sam, and there was more of an emotional connection. That wasn't present in the movie, so, some of it was like a little short, I felt, but, and I thought Tom Holland was a little young to play Nate, like, even when they had, like, young him transform into, like, current him.
Yeah,
somehow still looks
him. It still looks like a baby face.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a different actor who played young Nate. He's 25.
Yeah, I think that's just him. He's just going to always have a baby face, dude.
Yeah, which is fine. Because when he was actually in the role, he was fantastic.
It's not like he's going to grow out of that baby face, baby. That's it. Like you've reached. He's going
to grow a beard and just look completely different. Like Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter with a beard, he looks completely different. I feel like older. Right. But I enjoyed it. It was a caper movie. Everyone was double crossing everybody. There was a giant set piece at the end where there's old pirate ships attached to helicopters flying through the area as they're fighting on helicopters and stuff, and people falling and stuff. It was completely off the wall wacky. And what they did was the
physics just took a break.
Exactly, which I'm fine with.
Physics left the chat.
Physics is gone, which I'm fine with. And then the end of the movie, they set up like a more game-centric storyline. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, and then also everyone's starting to look more like the games. So people. I'll just spoil this part. People who didn't want Marky Mark to, they're like, "Where's Sully's mustache?" He starts growing the mustache at the end of the movie. So so I enjoyed it, and I got to say, I think
the
that
Sully mustache origin story we did.
I think that where we are right now is the greater society as a whole has more accepted gaming as a mainstream entertainment medium. And the movies, I think, are going to come more and more with Sonic 2 coming, and Sonic 1, the movie, was probably the best video game adaptation I've ever seen. Yeah. And I'm guessing Sonic 2 is going to be in that same vein. So
do you think it's because they actually listened to the fans with like the first,
eventually,
or do you think that was like a fake out? Like that was the big conspiracy theory.
Oh no, they were gonna fuck that movie up with how Sonic looked. That was not a fake out at all, dude.
No, you don't think it was like we're gonna put this out here to buy more time for the movie and build up hype?
Nah.
They weren't thinking that deep on it. No, it wasn't like a 4D chess move.
Not at all.
My thought about it was that they probably changed the look because they didn't want to pay for the rights to it. Because like I'm sure like whoever originally created the character probably has one set of rights. The person who did like 2D representation, then when he was brought into 3D, then what he was based on in the manga, then what he was based on in like the anime cartoon. Like those are probably all different creators who maybe own like copyrights to like those designs.
I do know about this.
Okay.
That was brought up. Sega 100% owns every single thing Sonic will ever do and has ever done.
So why did they put out that fucking monstrosity, dude? That's crazy. Like that was my deep theory. Was like, oh, maybe somebody owns like the rights to it, and they didn't want to like deal with it.
It was just a bad idea. No one stopped them until the fans complained. So kudos to the fans.
How did it get through everybody? Everybody thought that was like didn't look crazy. Everybody.
I'm gonna say people weren't true fans, or people were just yes men behind the scenes. You know.
Yeah, I feel like that's how most movies get made. Like it's amazing, like with the amount of people that it takes to make any like endeavor, like a movie or video game, like just how many people it has to go through to like generate a final product. It's crazy that anything gets made, dude.
Yeah. Also, I have to say, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik / Eggman. Fucking phenomenal casting. He is great, dude. He is absolutely phenomenal. I haven't seen Sonic 2 yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. And Jim Carrey said that this will be his last movie. He's retiring after this. And then when asked, well, what if there's a Sonic 3? He's like, that's the only movie. He's like, I'll come back for that for sure because I really enjoy playing Robotnik. So he wants Fat Robotnik too. He's like, I'm slowly becoming the game character. He's like, I got the mustache, I got the bald head now. He's like, I want to be just Fat Man Robotnik. So I'm like, hell yes, Jim Carrey, you do you. But man, I
feel like he's been slowly retiring for a while now.
Oh yeah, definitely. He is.
Like he hit so many bangers, dude. Like from The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, dude.
Yep, Liar.
Yeah, dude. Fucking. Batman,
the Riddler. I absolutely loved him as the Riddler, dude. I watched the new Batman movie, and Paul Dano was fucking awesome. He killed it as the Riddler, but I absolutely love Jim Carrey as the Riddler, dude. So it is what it is. But man, I think that gaming has reached a point, which I'm excited about, where it's more accepted. It's winning BAFTAs and shit, which were considered a prestigious award. Voice actors are being recognized. People are like that grew up with games who are making these movies now know how to make the adaptation work for Hollywood. Sometimes, you're still gonna get some real kitschy stuff, but it's getting better, and I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited to see the games that I've played forever hit the big screen. Sonic being the pinnacle. There's the Mario movie coming out next year, which will be
how do you feel about that
movie? It's CG animated, dude. That's 100% how you do a Mario movie. You don't cast it live action. So
no John Leguizamo.
No,
Mario.
No, Luigi Mario. No, that's Mario.
Into like how that movie was like made, dude. That was
it was made like they were like, this is popular. Let's get it while it's hot. That's how it was made.
Well, I guess like the pitch was like they wanted to do like Akira, but live action, and then like use the Mario characters.
What the fuck?
And like the guy who whoever was in charge at Nintendo was like, I love that idea. That's great. Let's do that. Because it was just, I don't know, it's taking like the idea and like putting it, in Japan's always done like that type of like out of the box thinking for like characters where it's like they like their sci-fi and their animes, and so like taking Mario and throwing them in like a dystopian future like that falls within like I figured they already have like warp pipes in other worlds and stuff. Why not like a dystopian world? Why not go to the Akira world? Like I think that was like their thinking.
What's interesting though now, that'll never happen because the game creators themselves are taking a hold of a lot more of the rights than they've had previous. Like Shigeru Miyamoto is overseeing the Mario movie to make sure it's right. So I have a lot of faith in that. I think that'll be a banger. It's really just getting the people. Like if you just have somebody goes, hey, I'll make that video game movie, it's probably not going to work. I think like the Paul W.S. Anderson or movies, with Resident Evil. I think those movies were, people shit on them all the time for being dumb, like action movies that have nothing to do with the games. I thought, like, yes, you're right, but those movies were just popcorn fun. And the parts with the games were nice little, peaks. But I thought, like, introducing a new character to deal with it, like, people were like, oh, I want the game characters. The big argument was, you've played through the game. How about you see this in a different kind of way, which I was okay with. I thought those movies were fine. Like, there's definitely some stinkers in there. 3 and Afterlife, or the one after Afterlife, whatever it was called, and the final chapter was a very poor ending. But you had like fucking 7 movies, I think, of just zombie killing things, and that was the only game in town for a while. So if you want some zombies, you got Resident Evil out here.
That was it. The only ones doing it. You see this all the time with like movie MacGuffins, where people, always ask like, what was the deal? What was that? Like, you Pulp Fiction, where they're like, oh, what's in the briefcase? Or like, there's a bunch of them where like, oh, what was like really going on with like this code? Or like, what was on the computer? Or like, what was in the box? Like
what's in the box?
What's in the box? But imagine like people for that, but the entire movie, because like you play a video game a specific way. And then you're like, how come it wasn't like how I experienced this game? And it's like, it's its own thing. And like, I don't know, movie creators have notoriously come out and it's like, it's whatever you wanted it to be. And, that I just watched an interview with Nicolas Cage, and he was just like, people were asking him like, oh, what was blah, 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 or blah, blah. He was like, whatever version of the movie was for you and your experience, that's right. Like, don't worry about it. But it's hard to do that for an entire movie, to be like, we're presenting one thing and then be like, whatever you take away as your interpretation. It's like, no, because like everybody has a specific interpretation of how they played through and experienced a video game. And it's like one of the only mediums with that interactivity where you are enjoying a story as well as telling part of the story. And like, you don't get that with movies. Where movies presents you like, this is a story, and like there's certain parts of it that you can interpret however you want, but overall, like there's an idea behind it. And like, if it's a really good director like Guillermo del Toro or something, where everything in that movie is like presented for a specific reason, or like a Kubrick, where like everything in there, like it went through like somebody's, like there was a method to the madness and somebody in charge of like, I want this, this, and this, and like, only certain things are going to appear. Like I like these color palettes to express like this emotion or whatever. So you're being presented an artistic vision, whereas video games, you're being presented an artistic experience, whereas there's like interactivity and like, you're enjoying something with it, it's crazy. People aren't going to like video game movies for a lot of different reasons, like because they're like, this is so far from the experience I had while playing it. And like, I don't think it takes away from your memory. Like, you gotta be able to decouple and be like, this is something else, and like whatever I experienced while playing the game is also valid, like for like the emotional highs and lows, and like how I interpret those characters because of the way I interacted with them is still 100% valid and doesn't change. I don't know. Like you have to like almost censor yourself in your head somehow, like because like I've always brought up famously like the book Tales of Demons and Gods, where there's like a specific end with the big bad evil guy, but the book says, nah, he escapes and this is going to keep going. And I'm just like, this is such bullshit. Like, and so in my head, I'm like, you know what? They kill the big bad evil guy, and now he has to like take over as like the city lord and like lead into a new era of prosperity. like I have to create like my own end story and be like,
for sure.
And like the story still goes on, and like I'm
happens. That happens with video games too. We're close.
Princess is in another castle, bro.
My kids are called.
They're around and around.
I'll say this. Gaming. So one of the games I absolutely loved was Prince of Persia 2008. That game, and it's been nearly 10 years since it's been out, so I'm going to spoil the shit out of it.
What'd you think of the movie?
It was fine. It was forgettable.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. Yeah.
I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was a weird casting choice, but whatever.
I thought he did great.
It was fine. I enjoyed the popcorn. It's like I said, it's a popcorn movie where you turn your brain off. That being said, so Prince of Persia 2008 was a reboot for the series. The prince you were in the previous 3 games were no longer there. You were a new prince with a new princess, and the game was kind of open world exploration, and you were trying to fight the darkness. The twist of the game was the princess you were with the entire time you went through this entire journey, she was intrinsically linked to the darkness, and for the darkness in the world to end, she had to die. The game did something so masterful where it puts you in control of the prince at the point where you put her down on this altar for her to die to save the world, and you walk away, but the game does not end. You're walking around. It doesn't even guide you for anything. You go back and you actually interact with the princess. You pick her up and you walk out with her, and the game ends on the most beautiful note, I thought, with the darkness taking over, but her living. Because you were like, I was with this character the entire time. She literally, her point is it's like a game mechanic where she saves you from death, right? She saved you so much in this game, and you were so much to just try and help her, where the thought of her dying in this game was like too much. I'm like, man, I'm going to miss this character. This game was fantastic, you know? And I've never got the DLC to play through it because I didn't want to ruin that ending. I will never play through that DLC. I'll never 100% it because that was the perfect ending to me. My wife absolutely hates endings like that where she's like, well, what was the point of the whole thing? I was like, the point wasn't the actual story. The point was the relationship you build, you know?
It's the duality of man. And this has been the duo of the Combo Wombo podcast.
Which, I mean, I thought that was one of the most poetically beautiful endings in any game that I've played. I think Spec Ops: The Line also has a very like somber note in that game that was incredible that more people need to play. And I think that movies, really, it's harder for them to do that. You know, it's harder for them to completely invest the entire audience. And gaming is one of those things where you're doing the actions. And I can tell you that I've looked on forums too, and people are all like, oh, the princess's name was Elika. People are like, oh man, I like, some people were pissed about it. They're like, well, why would you? So now they got to pay DLC so I can see the true ending. I was like, nope, that was a true ending for me. So going back to what you said before of you need to be okay with like making your own conclusion. I completely agree. And I think it's harder for video games to do that, but something that will stick with you. Like that game came out in 2008. I've never replayed through it, but the end and the journey still stick up with me to this day. Where
the Jake Gyllenhaal Prince of Persia movie didn't take that away from you at all.
No, not at all. But yeah, man, I think that, you know, with my kids awake and stuff, I should probably end it here. Do you have anything to add at the end of this, man? Or
no, this is, you know, it is what it is, bro. Like it's the duality of man. That's the point, man. Sometimes the journey is it's the friends you make along the way.
Exactly.
That was the real Prince of Persia. It's right of us all along. Like the sands of times, what they get stuck in between your toes when you go to the beach, bro.
On that note,
dust in the wind, bro.
We are all just dust in the wind.
Oh, man, you're gonna get us copyright struck, dude.
I stopped there. Also, I sing too bad for them to care.
It's not gonna get caught.
right, for sure. But all right, man, that'll do it for this week's Combo Wombo podcast. I'm Mr. Gimpy. That over there.
Chipmunk.
We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Like, share, subscribe. We out.
Peace.